Welcome to part 2 of the saga of the light being. A recap. In part 1, we have a light being child known as Alesteer, born to a family of high birth from a high echelon frequency of existence, angelic and celestial in its nature, a hop and a skip away from being directly descendant from the all-powerful source, God itself, living in their realm of light, their city of light, a white and golden light city with tinges of royal emerald and royal blue and royal purple. So this Alesteer, he goes into another realm with his mind for the first time, meets this blue translucent creature in this unknown wave-like space, and this creature that he met was known as Elohim. And before he could learn more about Elohim and Elohim's realm, he was pulled out of this mindscape by his parents. They wished for him not to go back to this place, for it is unsafe to depart from God. All that he needs is right here within himself. And it is God's wish for him to stay close to him, close to God in this realm of light. But Alesteer has become curious of these endless, infinite realms that he can delve into via dream meditation, and he feels conflicted. So that is our recap. And now, getting into the next part. He was advised by his parents to have a little chat with God the next day. And so he does. The next day, in the evening, after much joy and light, with not much happening at all, for this is a realm of light, not so much a realm of doing. He goes into his chambers, in his house of light, into this circular room. He sits in the center of this mandala-like light spread on the floor, and he meditates on God. And God comes to him and says, "Hello, my child. Why do you ask for my presence? And Alesteer says, God, I am rather conflicted at this time. I have delved into the realms of the mind and found the tip of the iceberg in Elohim and their realm. Whatever it may be, this wave-like substance surrounded me in this realm of blue, so different from my current dwelling. And I want to know more. I ask of you, what shall I do? My parents, they tell me to stay back, that it is your wish, God, for me to stay here in this realm of light. And yes, I am happy here, but my mind, I am curious. I want to wander. I want to know more. I have seen that there is more to see, there is more to experience. So much, so many things I cannot describe. I feel that I do not know everything from here, even though this place, it is so good. I love my parents. I love the city of light. And I love you, O Lord, source of all things. But I see, O Lord, that you have made other realms, other places to go, other things to explore. Why, then, do you ask of me to stay here, if so much other realms and dimensions are available? And the Lord spoke back, my dear Alesteer, I wish for you only that which you so wish for yourself. I wish only for you to live as you yourself wish to live. Alesteer was confused. This does not make any sense. You said, according to my parents, for me to stay here, that we should all stay here in this realm of light, where it's safe. And God replied, this is the essence of your parents. They wish for you to stay here. They wish for you to stay safe. They love you, Alesteer. They love you more than you could possibly imagine. They love you as the pearl of existence itself. And they wish only for you the greatest of happiness, the greatest of joy, the greatest of love, which in their minds is for you to stay here with them in this grand celestial city of light that I have built for you. Their design is my design on them, for them to feel and remain in the divine love frequency. This is their Dharma. And it is natural for them to wish this same Dharma for you, for that is part of their Dharma, That is part of their will, their way of life. They said for me that I wish for you to stay here. The truth of the matter is that I wish for all beings to make their wish. They interpreted this in such a way that their wish is my wish, which is true, and their wish is for you to stay here forever and always, in the realm of light, love, wholeness, closest to me, your Lord, your protector, your greatest love, your home of light. All that being said, my dear Alesteer, you may explore the vast infinities that I have begun to unveil to you. There are magic elements, entities, and experiences out there in the ethers of the mind that you have only the faintest idea of. You can stay here if you so wish, and it would give me no greater pleasure for you to remain here with me in the realm of light. And yet, it would also give me no greater pleasure for you to explore me in my infinite variety of vastness beyond measure, frequencies upon frequencies, layers upon layers of design, of character, of story, of dharma, of words that you do not yet know the meaning of love, of hate, of excitement, of fear, of enticement, of entitlement, of insecurity, of lack, of pondering, of meandering, of wandering, of wondering, of experimentation, of allocation, of differentiation, of manifestation, of radio stations, of magical situations, of esoteric manipulations, of fractal-like encapsulations, of frantic incredulations, of changing lives, changing nations, stories of which you may uncover if you so desire. It would give me no greater pleasure for you to explore these endless realms within your mind, the mindscapes within the ethers of your own existence. So make your choice, dear one. There is no right, there is no wrong. Create your destiny as you will, for it is my will also. I love you to the ends of infinity and back. I love you forever and always. I love you to infinite degrees. I love you beyond all reckoning. I love you to an ineffable degree. And so, Alesteer awoke from his discussion with the Lord. Flummoxed, wondering, feeling things he had never felt before, feeling so alive, so electrified, and yet so dead at the same time. It was a paradox, something he was unfamiliar with. And so, once again, Alesteer that night decided to head into the mind space to once again explore the infinite realms that were God's endless creation. And so he fell into the void at the center of his mind and began to dream of a new reality. This time, though he tried to find his friend Elohim, he was not in the blue wave-like space that he was in before. This time, he was in a black void, floating, hovering, nothing to see in all directions. Then, right before his eyes, the most miraculous thing happened. A shape of incredible geometry and complexity began to unfold before him out of thin air. It was morphing in an indescribable way. It was this manifold, this hyperdimensionality of form, denser than anything Alesteer had seen before. It was colorful, reds, hues that Alesteer had never seen. These vibrant hues, oranges, reds, and hues he was more familiar with, purples, violets, indigos, blues, turquoise, green, emerald, was pure magic, and it had grown out of thin air right in front of him, out of the void. It shined. It was so alien. And it morphed, and it twirled about. It rotated in this hypergeometric way, unfolding like a spiral of pinpricks and other wily shapes, like a spiral staircase filled with conic sections that protruded every which way, every direction. And then the shape began to take on a more uniform demeanor. A sphere it now was, with the conic sections, these pinpricks pointing out every which way, like the head of a mace. It shined all different colors. Effervescent it was. And the shape rippled its surface. Such things Alesteer had never seen. It was off his radar entirely, out of memory. Never had he seen such a thing before. And then the shape, as it rippled, it spoke. You are Alesteer. Alesteer was baffled. Yes, he replied. You have come from the highest of realms, said the shape. Alesteer once again stifled a yes. You wish to learn about the infinite realms. Once again, Alesteer said yes. And suddenly the shape morphed once again, and it transmogrified seamlessly into the shape of a light being, such as himself. But this light being, it shed very little light. It was much denser, even denser than Elohim, the translucent bubble with tendrils below it. This shape was very similar to the shape of Alesteer. It had 5 limbs, including the head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, and a torso. But this being now, it had skin of pink hue. This was the only way that Alesteer could possibly describe it. These words flooded into Alesteer's mind seamlessly as if out of nowhere. All these dimensionalities came to him so suddenly, and he understood them even simultaneously without knowing how he understood them. And the shape now smiled and stretched out its hand and said, "Hello, I am." Endari. Alesteer, somehow knowing what to do, stretched out his hand as well, and the hands clasped each other and began to wave up and down. "It is a pleasure to meet you, my light being friend, my soul friend." Alesteer was entranced. He said, "The pleasure is mine." He found the words falling out of his mouth almost by accident, but it felt as though it were on purpose. Suddenly, in the void that they were hovering in, behind Endari, a line of 1,000 shapes like the one he had taken before began to morph into existence, apparating out of nothing. And the shapes all this time took on different geometries, all slightly different, all morphing in a different way. Alesteer's eyes widened, and Endari turned his head back slightly, as if to acknowledge casually what had just occurred. "Ah, yes, these are my kin, and they are here to help." Suddenly, all the shapes began to emit a force field. A translucent bubble of light emanated out of them. It was fluid-like, and yet sturdy, firm, as if nothing could pass through that was not meant to. Each was slightly different color, a slightly different substance, with a slightly different texture. Some were bubble-dotted, slightly indented everywhere, with small divots. Others were smooth, like an egg. Others were ecstatic, with energy flowing like currents rapidly around the sphere. Some were more translucent than others, and all were a slightly different hue and varying degrees of potency. "This is the first spell that I would like to teach you, Alesteer." Alesteer was amazed. He hardly knew what was going on, and yet he was processing it perfectly. You are such a high frequency, Alesteer, that your abilities far outmatch any of ours, at least in potential. However, you have so little experience that you do not know the greatness that lies within you. We would like to help you unlock that greatness. And it all starts by casting this spell. And then Endari himself casts the spell. His aura was an aura of purple and blue hue, and the force field emanated out of him. It flowed slowly, like a toroidal river, exiting through the top of his head, going all the way around, down, and then under into his feet. It was a perfect sphere. There were very small indents in his sphere, and it looked slightly hazy, as if it were fuzzy. A fuzzy field of light, translucent in its quality. And before Alesteer knew what was happening, out of his heart center, a sphere of great magnitude of white light began to grow and grow and grow until it surrounded him entirely. It shone like 100 angels beaming their light, their song out into the world. Greater than 100 million suns. All were blinded in the presence of such a sphere. And all of them began to chant the sacred words to dampen the light and protect themselves. Before Alesteer knew what was happening, he lowered the light amplitude until it was tolerable to these beings. Still a white sphere of light, it glowed about him in a celestial hue that is beyond words, more beautiful than all others whose spheres, if combined, would not match the brilliance and beauty of Alesteer's. Very good, Endari said to Alesteer. And now, let us travel. This is our dimensional vehicle. And I'd like to take you to a planet I'm rather fond of. And before he knew it, all of them began to zap out of existence, out of this dimension of void space. Psychically, Alesteer knew where they were headed. He was linked to them, and he found himself, before he knew it, zapping out of this existence as well. In no time at all, or so it seemed, Alesteer bloomed back out of nothing, into a new existence. Faintly, he recalled that he had just traveled through dimensions that were unfathomable to him. It was like a tunnel of energy that was twirling and curling, moving so fast. So fast these dimensions had moved around him. It was like passing through infinitely many dimensions as one would pass through a sieve, falling through dimension to dimension, a tunnel of dimensions, only seeing a slice of each pass by in a timeless time, a liminal space of sorts. And then he was there. The dimensions had collapsed, and one had stuck. And what did he see before his eyes? That we will save for the next video.